France's Interior Ministry says car theft is reported roughly every 4 minutes. Many stolen vehicles are moved to neighboring countries under the radar to be laundered before being resold as used cars across Europe.
프랑스 내무부는 4분의 1대꼴로 차량 절도 사건이 발생하고 있다고 밝혔습니다. 도난 차량 상당수는 인근 국가로 옮겨져 출처를 숨기는 이른바 세탁 과정을 거친 뒤 유럽 내에서 중고차로 재판매되는 것으로 전해졌습니다. 1 in 4 minutes is a lot.
It's a lot. You've traveled in Europe, right?
Yes.
The difference between traveling in Europe and traveling in a country like Korea is huge, right?
Right. You don't have to keep your guard up all the time.
Yeah, because there's so much theft in Europe and in North America too, but I feel like it's even worse in Europe because
Yes.
people take advantage of all the tourists that
Yes.
come there. So you really always have to watch out. Whereas in Korea, you leave your laptop to save your place in a cafe.
Right, it's just a placeholder.
Yeah.
This is my seat. Let me get my coffee and come back.
For many Europeans, that's the most incredible thing to see because it's not something you could never dream of. That would be gone in a
Yes.
second. Yeah. So in the past year alone, France recorded more than 125,000 car thefts, roughly 1 every 4 minutes, as we mentioned. So the total number is similar to the previous year, but the criminals are getting a little more crafty. They're getting a little more technical. They're stealing vehicles to supply the European used car market as well.
아하. 지난 한 해에만 프랑스에서 무려 12만 5천 건 이상의 차량 도난이 발생했습니다. 사실 이거 건수로만 보면은 전년과 비슷한 수준이지만 최근에는 범죄 조직들이 유럽 중고차 시장에 공급하기 위해서 그 범죄 방식이 크게 달라졌다고 합니다.
네.
So let's talk about it. How exactly has it changed?
Well, in the past, stolen cars were often just stripped for parts, and then they shipped them through the ports to Eastern Europe or often to Africa. But more recently, about 40% of stolen vehicles have been found at illegal workshops just in neighboring countries where they're kind of laundered, like money laundering,
Yes.
except for this is car laundering. So they switch the license plates and then they edit the vehicle history before they resell them on the used car market in Europe.
Right, so they make it untraceable, unidentifiable by laundering.
Right, and the used car market is kind of hot these days because people, the economy has been struggling around the world, so people are there's more demand for used cars, so they're taking advantage of that. And often they don't even need to break the window or break the car to get in, They just use electronic hacking to disable the alarm and open the door, and then they just steal the car without even damaging it, and it's gone in minutes.
And this applies to just normal vehicles, not just EVs?
Well, I would imagine it's more recent vehicles,
okay.
like there's much more technology involved in cars, and that often will also increase your exposure to hacking as well.
Okay. Well, I guess this is one reasoning against your love of EVs then, right? Is it? Is it enough to convince you to come over to the other side?
I don't know, maybe. We'll see.
At least not in Korea anyway, because
Right,
we
we're
don't have
safe
to
here.
worry about that. Let's have a look at this expression, under the radar.
So the radar, of course, is the military radar that you use to see when enemies are flying in. And if you want to not be detected, you go really low under the radar. So it means moving secretly so you're not noticed.
Under the radar. 여기서 radar는 탐지 장치이죠. RADAR. 그래서 under the radar라고 하면 눈에 띄지 않게 당국 또는 사람들의 눈을 피해라는 뜻입니다.
네.
For example, the startup has been flying under the radar for years. 그 스타트업은 수년간 조용히 성장해 왔다. This expression, to launder, L-A-U-N-D-E-R.
Right. Launder is like laundry, right? To do your laundry, which is usually washing your clothes, but you can also launder money.
Yeah.
You can get involved in some money laundering, which is when you hide where you got your money.
Yes.
Usually because you got it illegally somehow through some sort of crime. So in this case, we're applying it to cars because they're hiding where the cars are coming from. They're laundering the cars.
Lawn to launder가 원래는 세탁하다라는 뜻이에요.
네.
그러니까 옷을 세탁하다라는 뜻이죠.
Right.
그래서 laundry room 하면 세탁실, 호텔에서 laundry service라고 하면 세탁 서비스 등등인데 돈이나 이제 훔친 물건들을 뜻할 때는 이제 흔적을 감추다, 세탁하다라는 뜻이 됩니다. 가장 흔한 결합어가 to launder money, 자금 세탁하다 또는 money laundering입니다. Also 자금 세탁.
네.
Here's the article again. France's Interior Ministry says a car theft is reported roughly every 4 minutes. Many stolen vehicles are moved to neighboring countries under the radar to be laundered before being resold as used cars across Europe. All right, let's come back to Seoul.
Safe Seoul. Seoul's education office plans to move away from answer-focused testing and expand written and essay-style assessments. It will also introduce AI-assisted grading to level the playing field and add credibility in student evaluations.
서울시 교육청은 정답 맞히기 중심 평가에서 벗어나 서술형, 논술형 평가를 확대할 계획입니다. 또한 AI 채점 지원 도입 등을 통해 평가의 공정성과 신뢰도를 높이겠다고 밝혔습니다. So they are moving away from true false questions or multiple choice
Right.
questions and toward essays.
Right, because those kind of questions don't really show your thinking. They
Yes.
don't show how you got to the answer. But of course, when you do have an essay answer, it's going to be very long and it's going to take a long time to mark. And there could be bias, because they're all going to be marked by different people.
Yes.
Different people think about, different essays different ways. So there's that human bias. But if you do it with AI, you can both do it much more quickly. So it makes it more feasible. And you don't have that human bias because it'll be the same AI, the same standards checking all of the answers.
Right. I remember when I was in high school, maybe because there
You do?
are
That long ago?
디스크. 그런데 이제 고등학교 다닐 때 물론 한국만큼 이제 학생 수 자체가 많지 않잖아요. 그래서 multiple choice questions they just weren't a thing.
Right.
You never did them.
Yeah.
Everything was essay based. And what I liked about it is 결국에는 그 끝 답이 안 맞아도 그 도출하는 과정이 이제 if there's good logic to it and the assessment marker, the teacher, liked the logic of it, they would give you half points or 3/4 points,
Even if you're wrong.
even if the final answer is wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Because you're still thinking well. Because the point of school isn't necessarily memorizing all the little facts that you learn in school. It's learning how to learn.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're trying to assess your thinking process
Right.
as opposed to whether you got the final answer correct.
네.
최근 교육 현장에서는 단순히 정답을 맞췄는지를 보는 게 아니라 이제 학생의 사고 과정, the thinking process, 배움의 성장 자체를 평가해야 한다는 요구가 커지고 있습니다. And that is the reason behind these essay-based assessments coming into play. And they are going to expand this to 120 schools.
Yeah, it was piloted at 66 schools in Seoul. This year, they're going to expand it. They're going to also expand their AI auto grading system. It's going to, like, for example, enhancing handwriting recognition and then to operate the program much more widely.
So essay style assessment. What is essay style?
An essay, of course, is a long written answer. So it's written out the long way to explain much more in depth.
아하, 논술형 또는 에세이형이 essay style이고요. This is as opposed to multiple choice questions.
Yeah.
다지선다.
Exactly.
And we're trying to level the playing field.
Right. If you imagine the soccer field is tilted one way up, of course, the people at the top are going to have a big advantage because the ball is going to keep rolling down. But if you level it out, everyone's going to have an equal chance at success.
아하, 여기서 level은 평평하게 만들다
네.
동사입니다. 그래서 level the playing field라고 하면은 공정한 경쟁 조건을 만들다, 출발선을 갖게 하다라는 뜻입니다.
That's right.
Level the playing field. Seoul's education office plans to move away from answer-focused testing and expand written and essay-style assessments. It'll also introduce AI-assisted grading to level the playing field and add credibility in student evaluations.